I found this player. He was HARDSTUCK in Platinum for 2 seasons, and now in Season 11 he has reached Korean Master, playing a style that we have never seen before, potentially even discovering an actual, non-clickbait, OP pick that no one is using. This player is named One Deal is a Monster, and he has recently climbed over 700 LP with a 75% win rate after discovering AP Neeko Support. This guy is a Platinum player, playing against LCK pros and challenger players like Arrow, T1 Cuz, Doran, and Hybrid from KT Rolster. These are real peak MMR challenger games, and this ex-Platinum player is maintaining some incredible KDAs. By the way, all of this was solo queue, not duo queue at all. To show you just how impressive this really is, Monster started playing the game in Season 7, jumping straight into ranked as soon as he could, too excited to stop himself. This left him in Bronze 2, just 3 seasons ago. In Season 8 he built up the courage to try again, having some more success, but still unable to get past Silver. In Season 9 he committed to playing one champion, and chose Ornn after watching it in some pro play. This brought him to Plat 4, and he did not dare play anymore in case he dropped back down. Even the 2020 season came and went, but he still was unable to escape Platinum 4 after trying every champion he could think of. In pre-season 11 he stumbled onto a new champion he had never even tried before. Immediately he tried out all the new items, and he just could not stop winning on Neeko. He shot straight back up to his normal rank and decided to push on, going to Diamond for the first time, and continuing to push, playing the exact same style, breaking through to Master tier, and he has been using it to climb under the radar. He is not the typical Master player with super mechanics or incredible game knowledge. I'm going to show you how he did it. By the way, I'm streaming on Twitch right now, playing off-meta styles like this. Come watch after the video. First off, Monster knows that Neeko has both never been a popular champion, and has never even been a very good champion. Neeko is limited in so many ways. She is immobile, and her abilities are so hard to set up and use well. But by fixing these problems, Monster has found a way to create a version of Neeko that actually works and has very little counterplay. At level 1, Monster takes E. This gives Neeko a lot more safety than Q would, and still does a lot of poke damage at level 1 with a low cooldown. The E is really the secret to laning on Neeko, and is absolutely her key ability to make this playstyle work. The important part of the E is that it goes through minions, and not only that, doing this makes it faster, bigger, and CC for longer, so you are rewarded for what normally would be a mistake, throwing your support CC into a wave. The way Monster maximizes its effect is by walking up behind his melee minions and tossing it at the enemy. These players have never laned versus a Neeko before in their lives. In most elos, people don't even know it can go through a wave, and have no idea how big the hitbox is. The main counterplay to CC bot lane is to hide behind minions. This does not work versus Neeko, it only makes her better. At level 2, Monster takes his Q. He looks for EQ combos to start poking enemies down with some big damage. Even here, you're able to land an EQ combo, then ignite, and kill an enemy. With low cooldowns from his runes, Monster can get 2 Qs off in an early game fight, which is often half an AD carry's health bar. At level 3, Monster takes his W. This gives him the extra damage on his auto attacks, as well as a very impressive counter to many supports. Not only does this clone act as a mind game, but it can also act as an actual person, which means it can block skill shots. So if you're against a Thresh, for example, you can predict he is going to hook you if you walk up stupidly away from the minions. So Monster throws a clone at him, which absorbs the engage and lets them gain control of the lane. The burden on a Thresh to hit hooks is very difficult, but Neeko can throw out a random E every 10 seconds and not even worry about having to outplay. The hitbox is just too big to dodge. After this, Monster keeps up this playstyle, looking for E's through the wave and poking with Q. If he gets a kill here, he can do this again and again to keep snowballing it. Enemies then cannot even walk up to get CS. At level 6, Neeko unlocks what you would normally think of as just a huge AoE damage teamfight ability, but Monster has another way to use it. As a support Neeko, your ult is a perfect peeling tool, as well as a massive AoE surprise for enemies to have to play around. If you land an E-bind, go for an ult to CC the enemy and get a kill with the big damage. This ability can even turn 2v3 ganks. The best way to set it up is to go out of vision, use W for movement speed, and prep the ult at the same time. This is very hard to see coming, and by the time the enemies get the indicator, it is too late for them to get out of the way. This not only has a huge amount of base damage, but also gives your AD carry up to 3 seconds to reposition after you combo it with your E. You can even get hooked or CC'd on purpose, and then use ults to stay alive and bait a fight with the shield that it gives. Around this time, the mind games begin. Monster starts using his passive to bait enemies. The best way to do this is to get out of vision, become a low HP or dead teammate, and bait enemies into flashing onto you to get a kill. You can see here, his Tristana AD carry is low in lane, so he pretends to base with her, out of vision. Then he becomes her, which baits the enemy into flashing forwards to try and get a kill on an overextended Tristana. Of course, this is Neeko, who just runs away after getting a huge summoner advantage. This is also a great way to bait fights at any point of the game. He becomes the strongest member of his team, then overextends to bait enemies in. This baits an engage because of course enemies need to take a chance on going for a pick to get a shutdown, but then it's just Neeko, and you get hit by her CC and you die. And more mind games with her W. Just like good SHACO players, enemies. Good Neeko players use the clone in a unique way. Most people throw the clone forwards and run away to try and get enemies to worry about and engage while they get out. Good Neekos will do the opposite, throw the clone in the escape direction, and then sprint into the enemy team to set up an unexpected ult. We are now in mid-game. Monster has his first item, which is Proto Belt. This new form of Proto Belt is better on Neeko due to the components. Hextech Alternator or Blasting Wand are great first base components to help you snowball a lane. But this item also solves Neeko's biggest weakness, her lack of mobility, including the self-CC she has on her ult. Monster uses Proto Belt at the very last possible second before the ult hits to extend the range just enough to catch out an enemy and then CC them to death. Without this item, Neeko is once again quite a useless champion, but with it she is shockingly useful. The main mid-game strategy Monster uses to win games is bush camping. You might think, well, it's just a support, what's the point in playing like an assassin? Well, around this point, Neeko Support gets just enough damage to kill pretty much any squishy enemy with a rotation of spells. Firstly, in this clip he is a level down, he has 5 deaths after laning phase, and he's against an enemy who is 2-1, so it's not a clip where Neeko is super fed or anything stupid, this is just an everyday game. Monster sweeps a bush and waits. First he throws an E to CC them, a Q for damage, and preps his ult during the CC duration to guarantee a landing. He then follows up with the final Q to finish off the kill, since this build has so much ability haste. This is almost a 2000 damage combo with one item and some Dark Harvest stacks. Mid lane and top lane Neeko often struggle to be fully effective in team fights, so the benefit of support Neeko is that you can still have the safety from your W, your ult, your Proto Belt and your Zhonya's, while not even being a priority target. Even if all you do is land a good peeling ult in a fight, you will have already been incredibly useful, and you can help your team end the fight with your low cooldown abilities after. Even if you just dodge an ult with Proto Belt, this is a huge advantage for your team immediately. In fights, Monster's main goal is just to ult a squishy carry and try to one-shot them. If you can't do that or the enemies have dive champions, the best thing you can do is use your ult to peel, stay on your carries and prepare your R. Here's a great example of a dive fight. He's walking in, disguised as a jungler who can be killed by the enemy AD carry. He finds their AD carry and one-shots her before she can join the real fight, winning it for his team. Here's a slightly harder fight, where he is being pinched in from 2 directions. He's going for a pick up top, then notices the enemy Kai'Sa, who is the priority target, so instead swaps directions, uses Fog of War to prep the ult, and flashes forwards, one-shotting her, again from a level down. Here's a great example of a peeling fight rather than an aggressive one. This game has not gone great in laning, Neeko is not fed, and this is against Master players once again. He uses ult on the front line to make them stop diving the carries. He throws an E on multiple people to keep them rooted, unable to DPS. Then he has super low cooldowns, so he hits another big root and ends the fight there, and baits them with his stopwatch. And finally, because he's a nice guy, he ints for his AD carry to get the pentakill. Monster also has a super smart way of using his passive to win fights. Become a teammate with an important ult. Use clone to create 3 of them, thus overloading the enemies with information. For example here, if you're on the enemy team and you see a Lee Sin, you'll be worried about being insect or kicked away, so you'll be thinking about that. Then suddenly, there are 3 Lee Sins, so you don't know what ults they have and what to look out for. And then suddenly you get hit by a Neeko ult and the fight is immediately over. If you try and fight, you'll get hit by some damage. If you run away, then Neeko is doing more than she should be as a support. You might remember a BMing SHACO from another video. This time, it's a Neeko BMing and baiting 4 enemies into her ult, which gets some free flashes and still works as an engage to end the game. Mind games and looking like a juicy target is once again the name of the game. Whether you are Neeko or looking like an out of position AD carry, when someone jumps at you, they are already dead. I'll give you her Season 11 build and runes in a second, but first let me show you an interesting player who is still making mid Neeko work in EU West Grandmaster, so you can have something else to try out as well. This is Patata Kamikaze, a multi-season Neeko player. His playstyle is similar in mid lane, throwing binds through minions and poking. For a mid Neeko, you need to roam a bit more and rely more on out-mind gaming enemies, for example pretending to base, and then becoming your jungler, pretending you're catching the wave, and then you can get a free kill and a tower. In fights he groups up with his team and relies a lot more on his flash ult engages, but Neeko Mid again is a great peel tool. Here's his mid build and runes if you want to try it out. Now back to our Neeko support. He takes flash and ignite every game for mobility, engages, and ignite for kills in lane. Against a lot of assassins you can take exhaust, but it really messes with the aggressive laning phase you want to go for. Skill order he maxes Q, E, then R, and W finally. This gives him his highest damage. Here's the build: Bell Thieves into Proto Belt, Sorcery Shoes, then Zhonya's. As I mentioned earlier, Blasting Wand is a good first base to go for, and Dark Seal would be as well. Late game game you want magic pen, like Void Staff or Rabadon's, but you don't need many items to win the game. Your Proto Belt and Zhonya's should be enough. Here are the runes he takes. Dark Harvest is essential for the extra damage, and Ultimate Hunter lets him make lots more plays, which is vital in solo queue. Stopwatch is his favourite secondary, as it lets him bait an extra fight early game, and win it. Finally, make sure you come watch me on Twitch. I'm streaming right now, every day from 1 PM GMT, playing off-meta champions in Diamond, like Neeko Support, SHACO Support, or Shyvana Top. If you have any great ideas, bring them over and we'll try them out at twitch.tv/HappyChimeNoises. Thanks so much for watching, check out my other videos here.